So I got me some new saws the other day. Those of y'all who follow me on Instagram seen the post I made with them. So this is one right here. This is a 400. It's already got the full wrap panel on it. It's got the West Coast side cover on it, West Coast dogs, and bark box on it. Then we move over here to the 462 C. Has full wrap panel on it, West Coast side cover, West Coast dogs, and bark box on it. Then we move over here. We got the big boy. We got the 881. It's the biggest saw you can currently buy right now on the market. It's 122 cc's. Yep, 122. This one is 72. Of course, this is a 67. The 881 comes with, it's already outfitted with a full wrap panel on it. West Coast 3-point dogs. And the bark box is in the bag in the truck in there. It was, it came with it also. All right, so this saw here is brand new. It's never cut a stick of wood. This one is brand new. It has never cut a stick of wood. This one right here, he said it had ran about 5 tanks of gas through it. It has not ran very much. You know, I am going to have to work on this chain. He hit something with it right there. I can bring it back to life. Hit something pretty substantial with it. I can fix it up. That's a 25-inch bar. So this saw's got a 30 on it right now, which will be good to break in. This is 404 pitch too, by the way, which is what I wanted on the big saw. Didn't want to run no 3/8 on this thing because of bar flex. So not only does it have a 30 with it, but it comes with a, this is a 36 in here, and then this is a 41. Both of these are 404 pitch also, and I got the chains with them. All right, so here's a story behind these saws. There's a guy that I've been communicating with for multiple years now. I'm not sure how far it dates back. He's over in Georgia, and I've answered quite a number of chainsaw questions for him over the years on different things. So he had emailed me a couple weeks ago, I guess it was now, and said he was wanting to sell some of his saws and wanted to know the best way to do it where he didn't have to ship them. And I responded back to him, and I said, you know, I wasn't real sure on that, you know, how to do it, or, you know, what was the best option on that or anything. And then I got to thinking to myself, I thought, well, heck, I'll just ask him what he's always wanting to sell, you know. And so I sent him a message back and asked him, and he was wanting to sell this one and the 462 and the 400 right there. And so I said, I emailed him back and I said, I'm interested in the 881 and the 400. I said, what kind of shape are they in? What do you want for them? And, you know, what bars do you got to go with them? You know, because all the extra stuff adds up quick, fast, in a hurry. There's no telling what these bars, this saw right here retails right now for over $2,200 with a 25-inch bar on it. And of course, this one's got three bars plus full wrap panel, the felon dogs, the bark box, all that hoopla like that. And then of course these two have the West Coast side covers on it. So he got back with me and told me what he wanted for this one and this one. And I said, give me your phone number. And so he got me his phone number, and I got on the phone with him. That was on a Thursday, and so I told him that I was going to plan on coming over that way the next Thursday and meeting with him. I also wanted this saw, but I didn't ask him if it was a C model saw because I want the M-Tronics. This just really the auto tune and the M-Tronic stuff is just, it's just so good. There's a lot of people that shy away from it, but the saw is just, they run through perfection. They take care of themselves. I really like it. That's my opinion, and a lot of people are against them. But and I've never had any trouble with any of mine, except for a fuel issue that I had on that I had in the carburetor, and that was my fault on that. But you know, as far as maintenance wise, you know, no trouble with the M-Tronics, electronics, or the auto tune stuff or anything. Now I did my oldest 400 went down on me the other day, and it actually went down on me while I was at Blake's place at Biddy Sawworks when it went down. What happened was this linkage inside inside here, where the metal piece goes back toward the throttle, it all came apart inside the handle right there, and so they've had to order the this metal rod or whatever it is right there. They've had to order that thing, and but it kind of quit. So waiting on that to come in. Really like the 400 size saw. There's a noticeable weight difference. These two right here were the only two in the steel lineup that I have not owned or anything. And I'd been shying away from the 462 simply because of the cost. And then there is a noticeable weight difference between this saw and that saw. And I run into tree all the time. I'm up there in a lift or either on a rope, working with a crane. And when you're up there like that, I want the lightest, most powerful thing that I can get my hands on. And this saw right here will run a 28-inch bar, no problem. And so that's my choice as far as that goes, is that saw right there, that 6760 saw, because it is it's very, very stout for what it is. And it's way more so if you're a 60cc class guy, that's the go-to saw that you need to go to. The 362 is a good saw. I've got one of them. Got power, but it don't have the power that saw has right there. Not exactly a fan of the full wraps. They're okay in certain situations. I'll probably leave them on these saws for a little bit, and just because they're wonky. Like when you go to fill them up with fuel, they're really wonky, filling with the gas and oil on them. And then this back nut right there, you really need one of those short throated type scrunches to be able to get in there to get to that back nut on them. Now these nuts on these side covers are non-captive. I think these are the older covers here, which is no big deal. I do like the captive stuff. The other thing too is, I'll show you, this is the full wrap that was on my 500i that I took off. I'm gonna show y'all here. Somebody asked me when I mentioned this about this thing, look at what the exhaust is doing to that grit right there. This goes on the saw like this, and what happens when you run the bar box, that exhaust on the 500 gets back to this part of the handle right there, and it eats that off. So not only is it doing on that one, but this is my 661. It's doing it on this one too. You can see we're starting right there on it. Same thing. And see, it's well behind the exhaust, but it still gets to it and blows on it right there. I'm not real crazy about that. I wish the ports on the bark boxes were a little bit different. They didn't come out this way. Because not only does it do that, but like if you're low cutting stuff at the ground, the saws blast the ground and blast the dirt. And like right now, everything is complete powder dry here. And so you end up I have to hold my breath and turn my head and do that. But see, I run the 500 more than I run the 661, and it's completely flaked that handle out. Somebody asked me if I got the wrong part number, if there was another part number for it, and to my knowledge, there's only one wrap handle that fits on the saw. And you can see these are about the same where they are. So anyhow, I get over there. The guy's name is Graham. Graham will enjoy watching his saws, running these videos. And when I seen that was a C, I said I want this saw too. So we ended up we'd already agreed on a price for this one and that one, and we agreed on a price for that one, and I grabbed them and headed on down the road. So y'all will be seeing these running here shortly. This puts me well over 30 saws that I own now. I am going to probably sell a few here upcoming. I know I'm gonna sell I know of at least 3 that I'm gonna sell for sure. Possibly 4, I'm not sure. And we'll go from there. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and I'll discuss that and show everything as far as that goes. But it was good to meet Graham. I went into where he had his saws at. It was just like walking into a saw shop where he has all of his saws at. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I was amazed at what he had and everything. And the thing about it is, there's a lot of saw enthusiasts out there that love saws, that have saws, has lots of saws too, and they just they like them and they have them. So anyhow, like I said, brand new, just barely run. So this will be fun to play with. This saw looks a little weird with a 30-inch bar on it, but that'll be good to break it in with right there. And I'll probably end up putting the 41 on it, because there's some people that make a big deal about that. I've got a 36 on the 661, and in the 592, like when I'm cutting the big stuff, you'll see me, I'll pull that a lot of times because it's got a 36 on it. And that's just simply the fact because of different bar lengths. I've got 36 over there for the 592, and I don't have anything that would really complement that saw that other than going back down to a 28. I don't have anything kind of in between there. Well, I do have a 32. I think that's a 32 Sugi over there, but it's I can't remember what gauge it is. I think it's either a 58 or 63 gauge, which I'm not as crazy about them, but it's just, I have different lengths of bars on my saws, and I'd grab the saw depending on what length that I need. It's not because that saw is better than the 592. As far as like the 90cc class saw power wise, the 592 would be your go-to over the 661. The 592 is just a freaking torque monster. Its saw is unbelievable. But I've got a 36 on that, so that's the deal on that. But I'll probably once I run this saw in some, I'll probably put the 41 on there for anything big. And that's all this saw will get run for is that. I'm not sure what bar I'm gonna put on the 462. It'll probably throw a 28 on it, because I've got my 400. I've got one that's got a 25, and I got the other one that's got a 28, and then I got a 28 on the 500 also. What I need to do is I need to get a 30 to go on the 500, and then a 28 on this one, and do it like that, and have one 400 that's got a 28, and you know, I would like to. I'm going to go to a 20 on one of the 400s, because one of the saws that I'm definitely going to sell is going to be the 362 when I get ready to sell them, and put a 20 on one of the 400s, and then a 25, and then a 28 on the other one. So I have three 400s there, and I can swap between them, because the 400 with the 28 works really, really nice, either cutting down or up in the tree or whatever, as far as that goes. So I'll be sticking the bark box on this one here shortly. He did not have it on it. And then I'm going to show you something else I've got right here. I had these custom made. I've actually got 4 of these. These are, I had 2 14 footers and 2 22 footers. These are crane straps made out of Amsteel, 5/8 Amsteel. This goes on the hook of the crane, and then this is what you put around the tree right here, tree or tree limb or whatever you're going to do. We have a place here in Columbus that can custom make these things, and I had them put a thimble in this end with this hook. It's got a safety latch right there. You can push that down and then open it up. And then I had them case it with 36 inches of rope protector on the hook end, and then right here on where you go on to the crane hook. These are weight rated right there. They're all legit and everything. Ashley Sling is where I had these made up at. So the 2 14 footers and the 2 22 footers all together, and the other, they're all identical to this other than the lengths come in about 1,700, and they weigh nothing, just absolutely nothing. So, you know, I work with Kyle quite a bit with the crane, and of course I work with Rook too, but we've never strapped anything with Rook. I've always done it with the grapple saw with the mech. And I wanted something that was more user friendly with Kyle, and if I work with Rook, and so I'll keep these in the truck, and then that way if I'm running with Kyle, I'll just pull them out, throw them on his hook. Kyle uses some nylon slings that have a clevis and a shackle and a pin, or a clevis and a pin on them, and they're kind of, sometimes they're a little wonky to deal with up in the tree, especially with the clevis and the pin, because you got 2 pieces there, and you drop one. If you drop one at height over a roof, that pin is going to go through the roof of the house. And so far, I've only dropped one. I was over a cemetery and dropped a pin out of one day, and that's the only one that I've ever dropped. And then we also use some. He used some like a endless type of sling that's in a loop, and it's got like a protective cover, and then it's got like a Kevlar or something inside of it, and so the pieces slide inside of one another. So if you've got 2 of those on the hook, you've actually got 4 straps hanging down, because it goes down, it goes in a loop. Well, those things are kind of heavy, and when you're up there in the tree and you're working with them, and it's real easy to pull the loop of one inside of the other one. And I was like, man, I'm fixing to get me some made. So I had them made up. Now I've got my own, and I can, like I said, these things weigh, the only weight is that hook right there. That's it. Just insane light. And so I'll have those as far as that goes to run. This is going to be really similar to what Rion, what he sells. He has a little bit different piece that goes between here and there I opted for this when we were going through and we were looking at everything. So when I was talking to the store manager up there that manages Ashley Sling here at our place, and we were looking through this stuff, and because I was wanting something as simple as I could, because if you're up there hanging from a rope, you want something to be as fast and as light as you can to deal with it. So that's pretty cool. But so that's all I put this video together. I'm not gonna crank any of these saws this morning. I'm not gonna fool with doing that or what have you. I'm just going to do this video. Y'all get to see them run here shortly. What's weird is this saw right here, with it being 122 cc's. I mean, you think about it. You know, your dirt bikes, the two-stroke dirt bikes, you know, you see a lot of those are 125s. This is right there at a 125 dirt bike engine that you're got in your hands, that you're running, and it's actually pretty easy to crank. I was surprised. I have run an 088 before in the past. That was back in the 90s, I guess it was. Ran one. It's a great big old saw. It had like a 4-foot bar on it. And that's probably what I'll end up doing. I'll probably buy one more bar for it that'll be a 48. A 48 will be way plenty long enough for me, because like on that giant stuff that I cut down, like the one I cut down the other day that was almost 8-foot diameter, you know, I cut it with that 36. So a 48 would give me more than I ever need as far as anything big. And I do fool with a lot of big stuff. We have a lot of big trees around here, so this will be pretty handy to have. So again, it was fun meeting Graham over there in Georgia the other day and visiting with him, and I've got a job coming up that might not be too far from him, and I'll see what his availability is to come out and hang out when I do that job. If I end up doing it, we'll see, and work some trees down. But yeah, hope y'all have a great day today. We'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.